Top 5 underrated sci-fi stories before 1864. Number 5. Urashima Taro. As with many of these examples, the line is blurred between fantasy and science fiction. This was written in the 8th century and there is literally no line. The story tells of a fisherman who rescues a turtle and lets it go to sea, only to find out that she was a princess and he is invited to their palace below the seas. A few days pass before he decides to return to the surface, but when he returns to his village, he is shocked to find that he is far into the future. This is an old, folkloric tale with a classic bit of mythology to it, and it also serves as the earliest example of time travel in fiction. Number 4. Somnium. A weird little fantasy involving the lunar eclipse and demons on the moon. What makes this science fiction, then? It began as a piece of non-fiction, defending the ideas of Earth's rotation and our planetary relationship with the moon. How the demons became involved is beyond me. Nonetheless, this is particularly significant when one considers that it was written by Kepler, who was a key astronomer in the scientific revolution. He defined the laws of planetary motion, among other things. Number 3. Niels Klim's Underground Travels. This is a strange tale of a Norwegian man who falls into space. After floating about for a while, he is attacked by a griffin and crashes onto Nazar, the nearby planet, and climbs a tree for safety. The tree, however, is a woman, and he gets put on trial for rape. Already you should be able to tell what sort of novel this will be. From here, he begins to record the way of life of these ant-esque creatures, Potuans, before he inevitably gets kicked out and moves on to the inner rim of the planet. Basically, it is social commentary with an early example of Hollow Earth fiction, and it is quite a fun read. Number 2. The Last Man. Mary Shelley is a big contributor to the science fiction genre, as she wrote the classic Frankenstein. This is another story of hers that details an apocalyptic future where a plague has ravaged the earth, although the themes are, as is usual, far more symbolic than that. The novel is also notable for its semi-biographical depictions of Lord Byron, a famous romanticist, as well as the father of her niece, and her husband, Percy Shelley. The novel has great significance for any literature fan, and it is also an early novel of the apocalyptic genre, at least in regards to science fiction, as opposed to the Wrath of God. Number 1. Mike Roumgaz. Voltaire, French philosopher and satirist of grand fame, happened to also write science fiction. Mike Roumgaz, as with most of his works, is a commentary on Western culture and societal norms, here told from the point of view of an alien from a planet circling the star Sirius, and his friend from Jupiter. It is a simple application that would be repeated throughout science fiction history, and that is certainly worth mentioning. Not to mention, as with all of his works, it is hilarious, or depressing, depending on your point of view, to see how he depicts his culture, and how little, in many regards, it's changed.